Hello, everybody, and this is Amin.
And this Alex.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. And in this episode, we're gonna talk about we're gonna update you on the National Immunization Program and registrations using MySejahtera. And so, if you remember, if you've been watching our series, Let's Talk About, we spent one show talking about the National Immunization Program and some of the issues that we feel are going to come up because we feel that the program is while the immunization program is good and it's great that we've come to this point in our immunization movement that a number of people have already been immunized. We've completed phase 1. We did highlight a number of problems with regards to how the immunization database is managed, with regards to the registration, with regards to education and awareness, and with regards to just general dissemination of information with regards to the National Immunization Program. And the program started on the 23rd of February this year. We are now in the tail end of April when this is being recorded. So it's almost 2 months since the program started. And I think almost all the problems are arising, and it's creating a lot of confusion, even to the point of the number of the progress in terms of the number of people being immunized is not being reported properly. So people are KG is reporting different numbers, the DG is reporting different numbers, the JK, whatever, the immunization, the Commission for Immunization and
the special committee that handles access of COVID-19 vaccines
is also, I guess they are reporting the correct number. So there's a lot of confusions to a point that we felt that we needed to create a tracker, and we have a COVID immunization tracker on our website, soinsurance.com, where we fact check all the numbers and make sure that we report the correct and consistent immunization number and as up to date as possible. So in today's episode, what is going on with our National Immunization Program? Is it making progress or not? If you remember, at the start of the program, KJ was very optimistic that we will be able to complete phase 2 or phase 3,
the whole program by end of this year.
The end of this year. I don't know. I mean, whatever that comes out from his mouth, I take it with a truckload of salt. I like the enthusiasm and optimism, but almost all the time, it doesn't come to fruition. So what are the problems what is the most confusing thing with regards to the immunization program right now?
I think the first one would be the registration, because registration rate has slowed down tremendously. As of today, when we record this video, there's only 9.1 million people that have registered so far. So that's only 37.7% of the targeted population. So we've been opening the registration for 2 months now, and the registration rate is so low. So I don't know what's going on, because registration is quite a quick process. You can get it done in just 2 minutes, but yet it's still so low. And in the past few days, the registration rate has dropped to about 50,000 per day. And mind you that we are targeting to hit 160,000 vaccinations in a single day, according to KJ. So there's a big gap here. So why are people not registering? Why is it so slow? Especially states like Sabah, based on the latest numbers, only 15% have registered for the vaccine, followed by Kelantan of about 25%.
And these are optimistic numbers, I mean, we talked about database integrity. At the moment, if I'm not mistaken, there are 5 ways for you to register to be a part of the immunization program. So number one is number one is MySejahtera. Number 2, you can do it online. Number 3, you can do it via phone call. Number 4, you can do it via at the hospitals, at the government hospitals. And then number 5, people will come and reach out to you for those who are in the rural areas and stuff like that. You can register using pen and paper. The problem with that we talked about previously was that how do you ensure that the database integrity is there? So the numbers that Alex mentioned are the most not optimized, but it is the most optimistic number, because they could be double counting registrations. Number 1, they could be double counting registrations. Number 2, they could not be counting registrations at all. Registrations via some of the platforms could drop, like could disappear, not be inside the database. Or the ideal situation is they clean up all this stuff. So we don't see any indication of this happening, and we see a lot of indication of data integrity going haywire and going missing. Case in point, myself, for example. So I've registered for the COVID vaccination program at the beginning of the program. So I think in February itself I registered, and I registered using MySejahtera. So if you remember back then, MySejahtera, I think now also it's possible to, I don't know whether it's possible to use phone number and email.
Yep.
But back then, MySejahtera, you can sign up for the MySejahtera application using either your phone number or email. So I opted to use my email address instead of my phone number. And then when the the national immunization program started and the calls for registration was open, I registered using MySejahtera. There was no indication of, oh, I mean, you need to update your phone number. There was no indication of, oh, I mean, your registration is not complete. Please go to the website to complete your registration. There was none of that. All I got was the notification, that tracker thingy, and I'm done. 2 months down the line, I think a couple of weeks back, still in April, the whole office decided to check, hey, are we all on the National Immunization Program database? And I checked mine. I entered my IC number. I have to admit, the checking is super easy. The registration is super easy. But when I checked my IC number and I put in my phone number, my database, my name is not on the list of registration.
And just to recap for everyone's benefit, so you can go to Vaccine COVID website, so the vaccinecovid.gov.my. So there's a section for you to check your immunization status. So all you need is just to enter your IC or passport number, followed by your mobile phone number. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's all you need to take, and it can tell you that whether your registration is in and what phase is it on.
Yep. So I did that, and I'm not in. So I panic. I'm like, what the hell, because I want to be among the first people in phase 3 to get the vaccination. So what I did was I registered again on the website, on the MySejahtera website.
No, Vaccine COVID website.
Sorry, on the Vaccine COVID website, on the National Immunization Program website. I did that, and I put in all my phone numbers and everything, and in a couple of hours, my name is now in the database.
Yes, you got an SMS as well.
Yes, and I got the SMS notification.
And you never had this previously, right?
Yes, previously 2 months ago, I didn't get it. So now my question is, I'm not in the database, or am I halfway in the database? So am I 1.5% in the database? There is no, what's the word I'm looking for? There is no, not to say accountability, but there's no check and balance. Not to say check and balance, but who is checking the data properly?
Yeah, so there's a few possibilities, right? Number one is, it could be you have a data entry right now. You could have 2 registration. You might be able to register for 4 doses. I don't know. Or there's another possibility that your first registration didn't go through at all. So that's the scary part.
Yeah. So how do they account for the vaccination stock? So this is one problem. This is one small problem. Okay, we're talking about millions of people here. There's also a number of things. The flip-flopping in terms of the policies and what you need to do and what you can do and what you can't do, right, Alex? Okay, so for example, like previously, you cannot change dates, right? Remember we were talking about like, okay, dependents, right? Yep. You cannot register with your you can register your dependencies, and then after that you can't, or things like that.
To be fair, that was okay. That's an early stage. So initially, you only can register for yourself. You cannot register for your dependents. So eventually, MySejahtera was updated. So if let's say you have elderly parents who don't have a smartphone, now you can do that right now. Yeah.
And then previously they mentioned that, okay, you have 5 options, and there is no prioritization in terms of the options. And then I think a couple of weeks ago, or you showed me like a screen cap, we prefer you to register on MySejahtera.
Yeah, that's the weird part, because JKGIV, basically the committee that's in charge of the immunization program, they always do these infographics, this kind of like a info social posts on their Twitter and Facebook. And I think one of the questions was that if let's say my dependent has already registered, should I register again for a second time? And then they said that, you're recommended to register via MySejahtera. So what does that mean? Yeah, it's giving mixed messages to people out there. Yeah. So does it mean that other registration is less reliable?
Yeah, so if you want, I mean, we talked about this in our previous show. There should only be one way, one method of registration. Even if people don't have smartphones, you can send volunteers. You can send people to reach out to them and bring a tablet or bring a smartphone. Get them to register there, and then if the rural area does not have internet, never mind. Just bring the tablet. Have the database stored in the tablet itself. Once you can go online, have that database updated in the main database. You can do that. The problem is, and we've been trying to reach out to the people from JKJAV, we've been trying to reach out to the minister himself to get all these answers, but we haven't gotten any
Straight answers on
straight
this.
answers. It's all talk lah. So there was talk about like using blockchain lah, using artificial intelligence lah, using cloud computing lah to manage the database. From what we can tell, there is no security, there is no integrity in the database. We have some evidence that the database could be manipulated manually once it has been entered. So that means, right, it is possible. This is not speculation, but we have half proof that it is possible. If you are not vaccinated and you know somebody who is managing the National Immunization Program database, it is possible for you to just reach out to that person and say, hey, bro, can you just make myself vaccinated?
And this is actually based on a report made by Malaysia Kini last month, in 25th of March. So apparently there was a story about a person who hasn't got vaccinated yet, but is marked as receiving the first dose. And the Kelantan Health Department actually came out and said that, they admitted that there was a data entry mistake that caused this. So imagine,
they did say it was a data entry mistake.
Yeah, the fact that it can happen shows that, there's some concerns about the information, right? I mean, if someone can make this kind of mistake, what else can go wrong?
Yeah, so it feels like all the data that's been entered into the system is done manually and can be manipulated manually. And that's very dangerous lah, because one day you can wake up and say, oh, you've been vaccinated. For us who are aware, yes, we can go out and raise the questions and raise the concerns. Well, I've not been vaccinated. But then, even if we can raise, how do we prove, right? Which one is better? Which one has a higher level of precedence? Is it the database or is it your claims? There's no saying that, right? And people who are in the rural areas, they don't even know. Like, one day, let's say they don't get vaccinated and they never get vaccinated, but in the system is vaccinated, because they are in the rural areas and they're not aware of all these things, right? The people can just say, oh, you know what, it's okay, you don't need to be vaccinated because
you got a jab already.
Yeah,
okay.
Or you're fine, fine.
You're
it's
done.
like you're okay. You don't need it because we have enough number of people. There's a lot of discrepancies here lah.
Yeah, speaking about discrepancies, right? So like, for example, like you mentioned, there's a lot of ways to register. And in March, the Sarawak committee, they announced that they've registered more than 1 million people. So most of them, I think about 60 or 70%, were registered manually through the resident officers. But if you look at the JKJAV stats, the registration numbers for Sarawak is nowhere near that. In fact, as of today, they only record like 800,000 registrations right now. So there's a huge discrepancy. So what happens? So what happened to the balance? Is it in the system or not? Because this is a huge concern, because that means that you might be thinking that, okay, I've registered already, I'll just wait for the vaccine. But if JKJV doesn't recognize that, that means you're not even considered, you're not even a queue. You're not in the part of the system to be vaccinated. So that's a huge concern.
Yeah. Okay, so again, like I said, right, it's good that we're making progress with regards to this vaccination program, but I think a lot can be done to improve in terms of the communications and the updates. Even the data that's been tracked. I would like better information on the personal level. So for me, for example, right, so let's say if you registered via My Sejahtera, I would like to know specifically what is my queue number.
Yeah. Also, maybe estimated when you're going to get. It's like, imagine this, if you're downloading a file from the internet, right? You want to see the progress bar, right? How many percent downloaded, or estimated how long it's going to take. At least some indication.
Yeah, there's no indication. Like, if you go to My Sejahtera, there's no way for you to check, okay, phase 1, is it done or not? Phase 2, how many percent? You're in phase 3, so your estimated target time is X months.
Yep.
we live in an age, and again, if KJ is saying that they're using artificial intelligence, cloud computing, whatever, all this stuff that he's saying, right? This is totally basic prediction model. It's not difficult and it's not impossible. So my question is, why is it not being done?
Even with all this fancy stuff, right? The very least they can do is to show which phase are you in. Because a lot of people are complaining that, oh, how come I registered a long time ago, but these old people are vaccinated earlier? That shows that a lot of people are not aware of the different phases. There's not much awareness about it. So people assume that if they registered on February, they should get it much earlier than those who registered later. And it's not clear. And I don't blame these people because we're not managing the expectations properly.
So is there anything else with regards to the confusion that's happening?
Yeah, another thing is the notification. So if you register by MySejahtera, so what happens is that the app will actually notify you 14 days before your appointment date. Okay. And they will issue another reminder if you accept it. They issue another reminder 3 days before the vaccination. They remind you by SMS and phone call. And here's the thing, during the phase 1 process, KJ has shared this, that out of the number of notifications that's been sent to the first batch of people, 57% of people didn't respond. So that's worrying. Wow, so why are they not responding? Yeah. And if you look at the survey that's been conducted by the Ministry of Health, majority, I think like 90% said that they want to be vaccinated. So why is the response rate so low after registration? So there's a couple of issues. Number one is maybe the app sucks. Maybe it doesn't push notification properly. They miss a notification.
Maybe you disable push notification.
Exactly. And number two is maybe it's intentional because we are getting mixed messages. Because before that, KJ said that you must accept your notification 48 hours before. If you do not accept it within 48 hours, it will be rescheduled. So maybe they got the notification and say, oh, okay, I don't like this date. I want to reschedule. So they don't respond. So that's a possibility. And until now, they haven't explained why is the response rate so low.
Yeah, again, so for the Minister of Technology and Innovation, he should be driven by data. So if we put this question on the table for him, he will say, yeah, it's driven by data. But we're not seeing the data being put to good use right now. I would, again, like we said, right? I would like to know what phase I'm in. He mentioned that he's targeting 160,000 vaccinations a day. How close or how far away are we from that? With all these numbers, then if we have a role to play, which is to increase the awareness and to educate people and to drive people to register, with these numbers we can help.
Yep. And also talk about these numbers, right? He talk about how this whole program is driven by data analytics and all that. So this is a recent issue that's happened in my hometown in Cebu. So what happened was that when phase 2 began, I think the next day or the third day, I can't recall. What happened was that a lot of people were notified, okay, you're going to get a jab on this day. All right. They got reminded, okay, please show up for the vaccination. And on the day itself, they were turned down because they were informed that, sorry guys, we can't vaccinate you today because we ran out of vaccines. Like, how is this happening? Because they mentioned that, we have this predictive model on supply and demand, so you should manage this properly. Yeah. So if, let's say, they run out of vaccine, they should at least notify people that, you know what, this is going to be rescheduled. Yeah. But that didn't happen. Yeah. You get these poor senior citizens turn up at the vaccination center and they don't get a jab. So
do they have to come again, or like the next day, or
they are being rescheduled? So the thing is,
do they get bumped all the way to the back, or do they get bumped all the way to the next available slot? We don't know, right?
They don't get bumped. Basically, it's paused. So basically, they stop vaccination because they just ran out of doses to give out. So how could this happen?
Is that possible?
Yeah. You should be able to track all that. And Kyrie also said he's open to criticism and questions as well. So, yeah.
I call BS on that because we've been reaching out to him. And I know he watches this show. I know his people watches this show. We've been telling him, okay, let's have a sit down and answer all these questions. If you can assure us, we are the biggest supporter of this. We want people to be vaccinated. We want people to register and be vaccinated. We want to help. We want to make it easier. If we can put a page on our website where people can register, we will do it. But we are not going to do it until you tell us this is what we're doing. This is what's happening right now. So all this predictive model, AI, whatever, the way I see it, right, it's all manual because there's no highlight on the technology used. So if he's doing awareness, right, he has a lot of smart people working with him. So he can do like a PR campaign to say, okay, these are the people behind the COVID National Immunization Program. that's working on the database. This is the data engineer. This is the security expert. This is the blah 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 blah. And the job of all these people is to ensure that our database integrity is adhering to a standard. And people who are for cases like this, these are our solutions. Or okay, this is new, this is novel, we didn't know about this, and our developers are getting into it, and they've put in a new solution, and this is not going to happen.
Yep.
He's not done that.
It's a lot of issues on MySejahtera. I mean, the app has a lot of problems. Like, for example, after they allow people to register the dependents, it looks like there's a lot of issues because I know some people, they register their parents on the MySejahtera app. So after register, you can't even view the status of the dependents. You only can add more, but you can't add the existing ones you've added.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? Is it in the system or not? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the best way is to register yourself again on a website and to check to make sure that you are registered and to get an SMS to prove that you've registered. Without that, there's no proof.
Yeah, and it seems like registering on the website is the best way to do because you get the notification and everything. But the messages that we've been getting from the people who are talking about the immunization program and the JKJAV themselves seems to suggest that they want us to register on MySejahtera. But there seems to be a discrepancy between MySejahtera and the JKJAV database itself. And at the end of the day, if there's like anything that we want you to take out from this is, number one, don't register on MySejahtera, register on the website itself.
And make sure you check the status and you get an SMS. That's to confirm that you're definitely in the system.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot to also mention, when I checked on my MySejahtera, my database is there, and then when I checked on the website, my database wasn't there. They put out a phone number. Okay, I called the phone number, the 1-800 support.
828.
Yeah. I called them. To their credit, response was fast. The person was courteous, but that person didn't have the knowledge and couldn't provide me with the answer. All he could tell me was, you need to check with MySejahtera on this. That's what he told me. It's like, okay, you got to go to MySejahtera, click on support, and look at the what is your problem, and then you will find the solutions there. So I did that. So I went to MySejahtera support, and then there are like a not drop down, it's like a
Options list.
like a waterfall of options. You can choose one, and then it will take you to 1A, and then you choose 1A and then 1B, whatever. It will take you to. The thing is, it's not helpful at all because it's like it gives you the runaround. It's like, okay, I can't remember exactly what happened to me. Oh, you need to update your phone number. Then I click on update my phone number. How to change your phone number, whatever. And I did that. So I went to a portal where I can update my phone number. So the option was I could key in my old phone number and key in my new phone number. The problem is I'm not changing my phone number. I want to put in my phone number. I want to verify my phone number.
Yeah, I think the issue with the MySejahtera was how it was built from the beginning. So initially, right, the unique ID, so the identifier, they give two options, mobile phone or email address.
Yeah.
So that's the whole cause of the problem.
Yeah.
So you register by email and you want to switch to the phone number and you can't do that.
Yep.
So the thing is, who designed this in the first place?
Exactly. Who designed this? That's the thing that I'm asking, right? Why not KJ put the developers and everybody else at the front line, have a support center for technical problems.
Yep.
Because if you want people to register using MySejahtera as the number one means of this national immunization program, and you are targeting 160,000 people, I'm betting, right? My problem is not one in 160,000.
Yeah, we've seen some readers complaining about that as well. So it's not unique. So yeah, that's the greatest fear right now because a lot of people think that they're registered, but they're not in the system when they check. Yeah.
Is there? I mean, okay, I'm super frustrated. Again, if you guys are watching this, reach out, tweet to KJ, tell him, hey KJ, you should watch this episode. You should respond to the Soy Chinchoy team. And come and sit down with us here. We'll have a coffee ready for him. And we'll give him the opportunity to talk. We'll give him the opportunity to respond and assure us that our database and this program are in good hands. Because right now, I don't feel that at all.
Okay. Also, I want to take this opportunity to address some concerns out there because some people are saying that how come the vaccination rate is so slow? Okay, to KJ's credit, he did explain about this. The reason why the vaccination rate is low right now because the vaccine supplies are trickling in. It comes in small batches and all that because, as you know, there's a worldwide shortage. Everyone demands the vaccine. It's not arriving on time. But Malaysia is actually on track. So the schedule is going to be, we're going to get more vaccines in huge volumes on a monthly basis starting from June. So based on its latest update, Malaysia will be getting more than 2.2 million doses in April and May. And in June onwards, we can foresee that the number of vaccines that are available will be more than a total registration. So we should be getting more vaccinations on a daily basis from there. But of course, back to our original topic, if people don't register, we can get more vaccines to people's arm. So that's the first problem that we need to solve.
Yeah.
Of course, there are some suggestions out there on how we can improve the registration rate. Selangor Assemblyman for Bukit Gasing, Rajiv, he did propose that maybe it's better if we can allow people to book their vaccination slots. And he said that this is possible because the government, at least for the Ministry of Health, they already have an appointment system in place and that can be utilized. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think we spoke about this. If people are not registering and they're not in the queue and you have ready stock of the vaccination, disseminate it to the people that want it the most, right? Or they are eager to have it. Don't waste your time on anti-vaxxers and whatever for now, and just get it to as many people as possible. You can skip the phases. I understand the intention of the phases, but at the same time, it's okay as long as people are vaccinated. There was also a discussion on whether we should have COVID vaccination available at private hospitals. And at first, there was no... I guess KJ was saying that they were in talks with government hospitals and with private hospitals. And we did also say that, if we do that, we kind of like cannibalize the vaccination doses to people who actually need them and can't afford to pay for them. So you kind of like make it into a commodity and it's commercialized. So that was the problem. That is assuming that the machine is running smoothly, that we're hitting the 160,000 people a day, registration is going smoothly. If it's not, open it up.
Yeah, but I think the concern here is that the concern of not using the current bulk that we have right now, the current stock we have right now for open market is that, we don't want people, to pay money to skip the line and all that. But the government did say that they actually got plans to allow the private hospitals to procure their own vaccine and they can charge it on the open market. So let's say for some people who are adamant on I want to get this particular brand of vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do so from the private hospitals. But he did mention that realistically, due to the current supply situation, if the private hospitals were to procure their own vaccine, it won't come so soon, probably end of the year.
No, okay, here's the thing. There is like a disconnect with regards to the supply problem because number one, he projected that we're going to hit 160,000 vaccinations a day, right? That's the target.
But to be fair, he did say that that's only for like phase 2, phase 3, where we get more supplies.
Okay, so we're now in phase 2. We started phase 2 actually 2 weeks late. This is the second week of April and only last Monday, right?
Yep.
The Monday of this week that the phase 2 started. So, okay, he did say phase 2, right? Because phase 1 is a very small number, less than 1 million people.
That's another issue altogether.
First, they open it to 500,000 people, right?
Yeah, and then they keep adding.
Yeah.
And the thing is right now, right, based on what I've tracked from the reports, the phase 1 right now covers 701,000 people right now. So the thing is, this information, right, it's not even reflected on the JKJV
it's not
website.
updated. It's not updated, yeah.
It's still showing 500,000 people in phase 1. I mean, that should be recorded because we understand that, sometimes we need to prioritize stuff. We need to prioritize more private healthcare workers. We need to prioritize more maybe the armed forces and police. At least please update the information so that people will be informed.
Yeah. I agree with that. And there is no like depository of updates. He will tweet on Twitter. JKJAV will tweet on Twitter as well.
Baba will say something else.
Yeah, like that is the place where people go for reference. No, everybody is not on Twitter. I personally don't like to go on Twitter. And so where do I go to find the right information about the latest and updated information about the COVID-19, the National Immunization Program? Not the JKJAV site because it's not updated. So that's what we're doing. That's what Alex is doing. Alex is updating StoryChanger.com every day with regards to the National Immunization Program status. So, I mean, even the most basic thing, update your website, you can't do. But tweeting, everybody can do. It's annoying.
Yeah, I think right now it's crucial that everyone gets the right information, and this must be accuracy in terms of reporting. And one of my biggest frustration is that people are getting confused, especially the media at least, on the status of the vaccination program. They're confused between the number of doses and the number of individuals getting a jab. Okay, give one example. Okay, assuming this. Okay, this is not the right number, but imagine this. If let's say we have administered 1 million doses.
Okay.
700 doses for the first jab.
700,000.
700,000 for the first jab. And then 300 for the second dose.
Okay.
How many people have received the injection?
How many people have completed?
No, just received at least one.
Okay. 700. Okay, 1 million doses has been administered. 700
for the 1,000 for the first dose. 300,000 for the second dose.
How many people? 700 plus 300. Okay, 400,000. Around there?
No, it's not.
It's 700 minus 3. It's 1 million minus. No, it's 700 minus 300 lah, right?
No, that's not how it works. So 700,000 first dose means 700,000 people have at least received one jab.
Yes.
That's the unique number of people getting vaccinated. So the 300,000.
No, not vaccinated.
Dose.
First jab. Right?
First jab, yes. So the 300,000 are those who completed the jab.
Yep.
So that's how you should look at the data.
So how many people? 700,000 lah.
700,000 unique people have received injections.
Yes.
And 300,000 have completed with 2 jabs.
Yes.
So that's how you should interpret the data. So a lot of media outlets out there, including the national agencies, they're confused. Like I see a lot of confusion because some people confuse the number of doses with individuals. Like for example, if we jab 1,000 people, I said what? Sorry, if we administer 1 million doses, they confuse it for 1 million people. And we've highlighted this to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Aham Baba, the Minister, and also Khairy Jamaluddin, and also JKJIV, and nobody come and correct those reports.
And they didn't acknowledge. They didn't go to Bernama and say, okay, guys, can you fix this? And they've been highlighting the wrong number for quite some time already.
Yeah, and then to make matters worse, right? The Ministry of Health itself also shared the same wrong report on their Facebook page, like especially on 7 April. So it was reported that 860,000 people have completed their vaccination when it's not 864,000. And then Ministry of Health shared the same post on their Facebook page. You're giving the wrong message.
Yeah.
And we highlighted this to KJ, to the Ministry of Health, even to the Health DG. We've tweeted that I think at least 3 times, and other people have also highlighted it as well. But no effort has been made to correct this information. Yeah, sure, the big numbers looks good on us, but it's wrong. I mean, you want to build trust, you need to correct the mistakes.
So I guess at the end of the day, it comes back to this: database integrity and a place where there is where everybody can look at one source of information. So these are the most basic things. We talked about this to clarify confusion, to clarify any questions, to clarify any issues,
and to reduce any possible human errors.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening at all. So I don't know. I don't know whether the program is going to get any better. I hope so. Again, I hope KJ, if you're watching, seriously, I hope you're going to fix this. I'm sure you know all these things. I don't need to tell you. I'm sure you know. But I don't see that it's being done. That's all I'm saying right now. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add, Alex, before we end the show?
I think that's about it. Let's fix the system and hopefully we can get more people registered. That's our only objective here.
Yeah, I think we all have the same common goal. More people registered, more people vaccinated so that we all can just continue with our lives like it was 2019. I really miss that. I guess that's pretty much it, guys. For those who are listening to us on podcasts, I just want to remind everybody we are available on podcasts. So just look for us, Soya Chinchao, Let's Talk About, and we're available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. If you're listening to us on podcast, please do give us a 5-star rating because that makes us more discoverable to even more people who are inquisitive, curious, and want to be informed. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, thanks very much for watching, guys. Please suggest any topics or what do you think about the discussion today? Is it good? Is it too lengthy? Is it not detailed enough? Let us know. Tell us how we can improve this show so that we can make it better for you guys. If you like the show, please do give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to our channel. and don't forget to register for the National Immunization Program, guys. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is Amin.
And this Alex.
Catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.